What happens when Miranda Priestly has to fly economy? Yes, economy. Welcome to the world of The Devil Wears Prada 2, where the runway meets reality and the turbulence is not just on the plane. Hey, it's Emma, and I am so ready to spill the tea today. Buckle up, because this sequel does not play it safe. It plays messy, fabulous, and a little bit petty. Just how we like it. So let's talk. The Devil Wears Prada 2 drops us back into fashion world chaos in 2026. David Frankel is back directing, Aline Brosh McKenna is back writing, and yes, our holy quartet returns. Meryl Streep as Miranda, Anne Hathaway as Andy, Emily Blunt as Emily, Stanley Tucci as Nigel. It's 2 decades after the 2006 classic. Think the old guard colliding with the TikTokified media machine. And the film knows it makes that collision the whole point. Personal story time, because I've been in a room that smelled like $10,000 worth of leather and fear. A few years back at a very fancy fashion event, I'm in heels that were a bad idea and a dress that was a worse idea, chatting with a stylist who basically curates red carpets for A-listers. No names, just know this person is a quiet legend. The crowd is very much champagne and soft power. Out of nowhere, a fire alarm blips, the venue pauses, and the Uber situation goes full disaster. The legend looks at the sea of black SUVs, shrugs, and goes, "Subway." We end up on the train with 2 models, 3 garment bags, and half a centerpiece. And I'm like, oh my god, Lux people can be low-key adaptable. Not me, but me. I learned more about humility and agility in that 10-minute ride than in a year of press releases. Might bring that up, because Prada 2 is obsessed with the glow-down of old power. Miranda Priestly, the woman who taught us the difference between cerulean and whatever, is suddenly boxed in by HR budgets and clicks. She literally gets shoved into economy to save costs. Big yikes, honey, and she takes it. That humility beats harder than any stiletto stomp. It's not a joke, it's a thesis. Adapt or get archived. Let me set the scene. The movie opens with Andy Sachs, now a legit New York reporter, getting laid off by text during an awards gala. Yes, by text. That's the whole media industry in one notification. Efficiency with zero grace. Miranda's empire, Runway, is under fire for failing to vet a puff piece, a fluffy, uncritical article tied to a brand accused of sweatshop labor, which is an absolute no-go. Miranda's boss, Irv, the big cheese, forces her to bring Andy back as features editor to restore credibility. Meanwhile, Nigel is like, people barely read print anymore, and honestly, you feel that ache. The movie treats long form like a couture gown, exquisite, but who has the time or the budget? Crick Who's Who. Irv is Miranda's boss. His son Jay steps in after Irv dies, and Jay is the consultant playbook in human form. Cuts, efficiencies, flights, and coach. Sasha Barnes is a mega-wealthy divorcee Andy lands for a splashy interview, and Benji is Sasha's ex who's now dating Emily. Benji shows up later as a potential buyer for Runway. Picture a tech-forward operator with an AI pitch deck burning a hole in his pocket. The tension is lotions and daggers. Here's the spine of the plot. Miranda is less imperious because HR and corporate are like, we have receipts. Runway pivots to clickbait and short form. Andy writes real features that do mid-traffic. She starts dating Peter, cute human conflict insert, and then the Dior issue hits. Dior as an advertiser is mad, Andy gets pushed to do fluff, and she and Emily clash over whether rising prices have iced out the middle class. That argument is not just catty, it's the economics of taste. Then Irv dies, Jay clamps down, Miranda loses her promised promotion, and the budget hacks begin. Milan Fashion Week becomes the battlefield. Nigel stages a runway gala starring Lady Gaga, and Andy hustles to find a buyer to save the magazine. It gets juicier. Andy and Emily pitch Benji to buy Runway from Jay. Miranda is furious. Emily would can her, and Miranda admits she once shoved Emily out of fashion journalism because she thought Emily lacked creative vision. That reveal is cold and very Miranda. Benji's AI plan spooks Miranda, because if algorithms become the tastemaker, what's left of the Miranda Priestly myth? Eventually, Miranda orders Andy to find another buyer. Sasha outbids Benji. Miranda finally gets that promotion, and we end on reconciliations. Nigel confesses he brought Andy back because he always liked her. Miranda tells Andy her idealism woke her up. Then Miranda crisply reverts to being, well, Miranda. That's a look. The growth is real. The edge stays sharp. Behind the scenes, the movie is stacked. We've got new faces like Lucy Liu and Kenneth Branagh bringing gravitas, Simone Ashley adding fresh energy, Justin Theroux complicating relationships, plus cameos that blur fiction and fashion.
Donatella Versace pops in. They literally shot at Dolce & Gabbana's Milan show, and Lady Gaga not only appears at that ballet sequence, she dropped an original single called Runway with rapper Doechii. It's house pop, thanks Strut Ready, Mirabal Ambition. The score is by Theodore Shapiro again, crisp and chic, released as a lean scores-only album. It all screams synergy in a good way. Marketing was a beast. The teaser became the most viewed comedy trailer in years. The full trailer set a record for 20th Century Studios, and then the discourse went feral about the so-called Netflix look. If you're new here, that's the complaint that modern color grading is too flat or standardized. Personally, I think the Milan sequences look luxe, but some interiors do feel a little sanded down. We can agree to argue. Meanwhile, the world premiere was at Lincoln Center and live-streamed, which is unusual for a fashion dramedy, and Anna Wintour even shared a Vogue cover with Streep. Talk about collapsing the wall between Runway and the real thing. Streep and Hathaway also went to South Korea, sitting with Jang Won-young, who is a K-pop singer and member of IVE, to charm the global girlies. Okay, pause, because this next part is everything, and not in a good way. The Jin Chao controversy. Jin Chao is Andy's assistant in the film, played by Helen J. Shen. A studio clip on YouTube sparked backlash with claims the name and depiction leaned into racist tropes. Some online chatter even misreported the name as Chin Chow, which the South China Morning Post later corrected, but the fire had spread. The Asian American Foundation weighed in critically and calls for boycotts lit up parts of East Asia. Writer Aline Broche McKenna said the name honors a childhood friend and the character is multidimensional. I hear the intent, but impact matters more than intent when your content circles the globe in an hour. Here's my stance. Just saying. If a joke even grazes a slur sound-alike, retire it. Names are powerful. Representation is oxygen. You can keep the character's heart, the competence, the wit, and still choose a name and framing that don't trigger centuries of stereotype baggage. Quick Eli 5 on why it blew up. Hollywood films are now global by design. The internet accelerates misunderstanding, and historical pain is not a dress-up theme. The fix is not that hard. Hire more sensitivity readers, stress test names and scenes with diverse teams. Listen early, not just after the trailer hits 200 million views. Because once the tea spills, it stains.
Now, does the movie still land? Audiences gave it an A- on CinemaScore, which is that opening night survey company that asks real moviegoers to grade the vibes. Critics were generally positive, with love for the performances and the modern media critique, though some said it felt unfocused. And the money, production budget around 100 million, while worldwide gross was near 50 million and change, about 10 million domestic, 40-ish million international. That delta is a saga in itself. Record-breaking trailer views do not equal butts and seats. Nostalgia is a great appetizer, not the meal. Also, controversy can boost awareness and still depress turnout. We contain multitudes and conflicting calendar invites.
Why does it still matter? Because it captures a workplace glow up and glow down at once. Miranda's power gets audited by modern accountability. Andy's idealism runs face first into traffic metrics. Jay represents that post-founder corporate vibe where consultants manage feelings out of the room. And that AI pitch from Benji, the tech bro boyfriend of Emily, that's not sci-fi. That is a meeting on everyone's calendar next Tuesday. The film asks who gets to decide taste when the algorithm has its own opinion. If you care about culture, you care about that fight. Also, can we give Gaga her flowers? The house pop single Runway with Doechii is a total vibe. A high-heel heartbeat for the movie's themes of reinvention. It's promo, yes, but it's also thesis music. And Lucy Liu and Kenneth Branagh joining the Sandbox inspired casting flex. Sydney Sweeney even shot a cameo as herself that got cut. Stuff happens, pace matters. Honestly, I respect an edit that chooses cohesion over clout. On that note, next time I'm diving into AI in fashion, are we about to let a model pick the models? Will the algorithm be the editor-in-chief? Tell me why I'm both terrified and obsessed. All right, folks, we'll pick this up next time. Keep slaying, keep asking better questions, and remember, the real drama is just a runway away. Later.